Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this
Okay,
is
hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always.
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya?
Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. And some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Hey, let's go. Friday show, June 30th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you are watching live. Coming to you from the beautiful city of Romeo in Romeo, Michigan. We're at the Dispo location out here. Braylon Edwards, I say good afternoon to you, my friend.
You know Fridays are my favorite when we come to Dispo.
Well, I don't know how we
favorite.
topped last Friday's Dispo in Hazel Park.
So not only our Friday is my favorite when we go to Dispo. Last week we were in Dispo, Hazel Park. Dispo Romeo is the one, though. This is the Dispo location that you want to be at. Love being here every time they come here. Riley Woodward, always good to see her. She makes us feel at home. This is the best location to be at, brother.
So I got to tell you, full disclosure, I have never been into a dispensary before in my life.
Okay.
When I walked into this one, this felt a little different. This felt a lot bigger. The massive ceilings. It is like a warehouse in there. There's a DJ in there just packed with people. Braylon getting a personal service now, absolutely.
This is the most electric person here. This is Riley with a wire. Riley, say hi to everybody out there.
Everybody, what's going on?
What's up, Riley?
Happy to be here, man. I'm just.
Last time I was on a computer screen, so like this is way cool.
I know it. No doubt about it. Last time we were supposed to be out at the Dispo, this Dispo facility in Romeo, it was pouring and we were out in the elements. And you know, I melt when I get rained on. So
I melt when I get sun on.
We might melt out here. Getting the sun, getting a little bit of a tan, some sunshine, and 88 degrees, but it's all good, brother.
It is good. Look, man, at the end of the day, man, for there to be nothing to talk about in the dog days of summer, I think we're doing a pretty good job. It has been engaging coming to work. The fans have had fun with whatever it is that we're putting out there. So, look, it's Friday. We're at Dispo. Got my man Maz over there in the corner. Maz,
I forgot about him. Tom Mazawey. I have to turn my head to see you.
What up, fellas?
Hi, Tom Mazawey.
I'm in the shade, so I lucked out. I'm sorry,
you
guys.
did today.
Can we switch off every other segment?
Yeah, I'll switch with you,
I
Brad.
appreciate that.
I'll switch with you.
I come over there next
Hey,
segment.
Rob Sims is on his way here, former Detroit Lion, obviously a partner with Calvin Johnson on the Primitive Cannabis brand, which they have here, of course, at the Dispo in Romeo. So we're looking forward to seeing Rob.
Hey, Maz, talk to me about, obviously the elephant in the room is last Friday was one of the most epic broadcasts of all time in the Woodward Sports, almost 3 years now since we've been on the air. And I just want to get a sense of where you are right now, what you're thinking in terms of potentially eating another gummy. Is that
we got something up here for you.
Is that in consideration? Is that a yes? Is that a no? Because if so, we got to get cracking on that.
Broder and Jeff just walked by trying to pump me up. Booner's here. We got Alex and Parker and JB. I know they want me to take a gummy because they had a better time than I did last week. I know everyone wants me to take one, but then if I take one, then it's not a big deal anymore, right?
Right.
So I got to pick my spots. I'll see.
All right.
I'll see.
Well, very good. We'll be keeping you abreast of all the situations regarding Tom Mazawey in the consuming of the edibles or the non-consuming of the edibles. We'll do that. Rob Sims going to join us coming up at about 2:30, so about 25 minutes from now. Do want to get to really one of the top stories of the day, but before we get there, one of the news top stories of the day happened today. The new law where you cannot use your cell phones in your car.
Right.
It is underway. Want to let the audience know about that. You cannot pick your phone up and hold it in your hand. How is that going for you? Is it okay on the ride out today? Were you okay with the no cell phone?
It's fine. I come from the era that, Ryan, we've been texting since, and I'm not saying this is a good thing.
Right.
We've been texting since the inception of T9 and text messaging. So if you have to pick your phone up and not take advantage of having Bluetooth in the car, or if you have to text this high and take advantage of not having good eyesight, it was fine for me. I don't necessarily, to be honest, in the last year, especially 6 months, not on the phone as much anyway, man. I'm literally riding home in silence, trying to figure out the next move. What do I owe? Or it's a phone call, Ryan. And if it's a phone call is on Bluetooth.
Right.
I don't have to access the phone. And I think the big thing for me would be putting social media down a year ago when I was driving. I was heavy into social media all the time. And putting that down was the big reason why I started. And now it's a bit easier because I already started the process.
I wanted to put that out there just to inform everybody, too. First fine, if you get caught with your cell phone in your hand, $100 in 16 hours of community service. A second violation, $200 and 24 hours of community service. And then third one, everything is doubled. So just keep that in mind when you're using the cell phones in the car.
Go back to the second thing you said after you said the first fine is $100 and what?
16 hours community service.
That's letting you know how they feel about this, because community service is usually something that you'll get, but it's in a misdemeanor. It's in something serious. It's a settlement of sort. To throw 16 hours of community service out there with the $100 fine, they're not playing about this.
No.
They want to let you know that we want to inconvenience you. We want to make it miserable for you. This is the law that's in place. You listen to it, or, hey, 16 hours, it sounds easy. Man, it is annoying.
Right, just use the Apple CarPlay or your whatever the hell that other thing is called.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's easy.
I'm completely in favor of this law.
It's easy, Maz, but you got to think that you got a whole generation of individuals that all they know is texting and driving, changing the songs while they're driving, just shuffling through things to find out where a location is, or changing the GPS from this to that. It's an era of individuals like that. It's not just easy just to all of a sudden say no. It's going to take people to get tickets. It's going to take people to get inconvenienced before they really follow suit.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to point that out. However, you are watching Woodward Sports Network, we certainly appreciate it. Maybe you're watching us on your phone, on your tablet. Maybe you're watching us on your 60-inch television at your house, on your couch. We appreciate it.
Hope you're enjoying some AC.
That's right. All you got to do is hit that YouTube on your TV set and find Woodward Sports. Subscribe to Woodward Sports Network, coming up on 45,000 subscribers on that platform. Hit the like button for us as well. We certainly appreciate it. It helps YouTube get our content out to more people. Braylon, start with one of the stories of the day, and it involves sports media. ESPN, we have heard that the hammer was going to be dropped on a number of ESPN talent, and we are starting to get some of these names now, and I want to share for you some of the names that we know of currently. And this is 7,000 Disney employees were laid off or fired or lost their jobs, and this is, I don't want to say a culmination of that, but this has been happening over the last couple of weeks, over the last couple of months, where Disney's laying off 7,000 people, and now it's hitting the on-air portion of the group. So here are the ESPN reporters who have reportedly been let go today. Susie Colbert.
Oh, jeez.
Steve Young.
Man.
Max Kellerman. Keyshawn Johnson. Jeff Van Gundy.
Oh.
Jalen Rose. Todd McShay.
Todd.
Matt Hasselbeck. Ashley Brewer. June Lee, and LaFonso Ellis. There are expected to be 10 more names today as well. The New York Post continues to put these names out. Braylon, I'll come to you first regarding the layoffs. Where are you on this? Any surprises on this list for you?
No, they're not. And, as much as you want to say Jalen Rose is a surprise, it's not really a surprise. You notice the declination of his show, Jalen and Jacoby, over the last 2 or 3 years or so. It seems like he's been doing a lot of individual stuff. And actually seems like he's really changed his focus. Focus being more politics than it is sport. So, no, not really any surprises. Look, this is the way the ESPN going. ESPN is going the way of digital. You no longer need name recognition. You no longer need to have Steve Young doing certain things. No need to have Susie Cobra on the field. They're going younger. They're going guys and females and pronouns that aren't as much off the books in terms of how much they cost. Frankly put, you don't really turn into ESPN like that for more four personalities. This isn't 2005. This isn't 99 where you're turning on and you're looking for Trey Wingo and you're looking for rest in peace Stuart Scott, or you're turning on there Chris Berman during the week, or you're turning on. It's not about personalities anymore. You only need one or two or three, and that's what they see. They say, hey, it's going the way of digital. And let's address the elephant in the room. When you pay a guy $85 million, you got to figure out a way to pay that guy.
Oh, that's right.
You got to figure out a way to pay that guy.
That's right.
About Pat McAfee.
That's a bad trade.
We're gonna take that. We're gonna do that next, Maz. I do want to ask you any names surprise you on that list.
I think Todd McShay a little bit. I know he's had problems in the past, and Mel Kiper's the number one guy. But they've got other guys now. Tom Pelissero stepping up. You got all kinds of
NFL
guys.
Network.
I know. Oh, I'm sorry. He is. You're right. But they got other people stepping up and doing the draft coverage and all of that. Susie Colbert, to me, is one of the originals. And to me, she was the best female on the air and any channel, if you ask me. And great story about her that they had on. It is what it is. Jeff Van Gundy, I thought, was great on the air. I thought he was really fun to listen to. I thought him, Mike Breen, and Mark Jackson were a great trio. They're going to find a place and find somebody else. Maybe Doris Burke gets a bump up to the big show now. So we'll see how it goes. It is what it is. ESPN's done this in the past. You forget Stan Everett, I think it was, who just stepped away a couple of weeks ago on his own. Neil Everett. Remember he did the Sports Center?
Yeah.
They'd sent him. Basically, they were going to fire him, too. And he's like, hey, let me go out on my own terms, which he did. And he got a lot of accolades for that. So ESPN, they are the mothership, and they do this to people. It's not right, but it is what it is in this business.
Yeah, I agree with Maz to a certain extent. It isn't right. You're talking about people that have been there since the inception, or people that have been there since they really get big, and people that really helped grow the network over the past 15 or so years. I agree with him there. But look, man, it's I've been watching House of Cards a lot lately, and this is when Francis Underwood was trying to get the New Deal. He was trying to get, I think it's called America Works, implemented. He was basically saying, hey, look, man, I understand what FDR did for the New Deal and Social Security, but it's time to make changes. So I think that's what ESPN was looking for. It's time to make changes. We respect all these individuals that have been great, whether coaches or players or analysts over time, but the way we're going, the money that's going to be spent, people aren't checking for these individuals. You know what I'm saying? We're wasting money at ESPN paying these individuals out. It's just the way they're going, Maz. It sucks, but in a second, it's like AI, man. Like, you won't even have analysts anymore. It's all AI.
Right. Well, that's definitely a direction a lot of things are going. Coming up next, I want to discuss a lot of this, Braylon, as you alluded to. If you pay Pat McAfee and his team $85 million over 5 years, that money doesn't just come out of thin air.
No.
To pay that money, $85 million, you have to take away $85 million essentially from a different area, probably more than that, because you're trying to trim costs.
Yeah.
You're not just trying to replace costs. You're trying to trim costs. So is that a fair trade? Is one guy worth all of these cuts? Or let's say if he's 2/3 of these cuts, is one guy worth it? Is ESPN putting all their eggs in the Pat McAfee basket? We'll do that next. Rob Sims will join us in a couple of in about 15 minutes from now. But first, a message from Randy Wise.
Oh, Randy Wise, a Celebrity Golf Challenge. You guys know what time it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting to be that time. It's a hot one out there. It is the summer. People like golf. So how would you like to see famous athletes like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, and Braylon Edwards play golf with the average Joe like us? Well, you have a chance to do that. Thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you'll be able to do that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make sure you make the wise choice. Pay attention to Woodward Sports for more details on how you can play golf like a celebrity.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
We are live at Dispo in Romeo. Steady stream of people out here on a Friday. The place is immaculate. DJ inside, high ceilings like a warehouse. We've got our main man Spenny out here.
Spenny.
Spencer Raxter.
Fresh off his Twitter probation.
Oh, why were you on Twitter probation?
What's wrong with Eli, man? He don't like Spenny Racks, man?
He's hating on Spencer.
Oh, man.
Hating on Spenny Racks, man.
Come on, Eli.
Hey, check this out, Spenny. Did you see this? Not to cut you off, Ryan. JB, do we have that Morgan Whalen picture? Did we get that? Throw that up there if you get a chance. Ryan, how are you, Spencer and Ryan, how are you when you go to a concert and it's in your own town and the talent that you go see, they represent the city in some fashion or form? Last night, Morgan Whalen was in concert for Phil. He's back there tonight as well. He had on a number 12 jersey.
Ooh, a little Hendon Hooker action.
Obviously, he's from Tennessee. He represents the Volunteers, and he say, yo, I liked you because you drafted my boy Hendon Hooker. But now, I think I like Detroit even more. How are you when people actually not just put something on, but they actually know a little bit about it, too?
Oh, without question, man. You got to love that, right, Spenny? Yeah. I mean, you got to love that. You know, my man, the drummer for...
I knew he was going to say Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Well, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dave Matthews, a lot of those guys throw the jersey on. If you play at Comerica Park, you're wearing a Tigers jersey. You play at Ford Field, you're wearing a Lions jersey,
Chili Peppers
baby.
guys, I think he's from Dearborn, correct?
I don't know.
One of the guys is from Dearborn.
Okay,
Appreciate
Spenny.
you, Spenny.
Appreciate you, baby. 5 to 7 heavyweights out here tonight.
But I thought it was pretty cool. Morgan Whalen, he put the jersey on, rocked the number 12. He rocked the house, rocked the jersey, showed love to the Lions. Man, I think that is what we're talking about in this being different in terms of this not being the same old Lions. Like, people are around. They are buying into the Lions, man. It's a good feeling for Detroit.
No doubt about it. Absolutely. We got some Dispo employees walking in for the shift today. How you doing, baby? Good, man. Thanks for having us out. Braylon, I want to get to this, and Maz, too, will get you involved. It feels like the ESPN is putting all their eggs in the Pat McAfee basket. They're putting all their eggs in this basket. $85 million to this one guy. $85 million. Now, I know, of course, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, they make about, $20 million a year?
Yeah. 2022, yeah. I mean,
the different guys, they're calling games, they're calling Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
But this is purely analysts. How do you feel about Pat McAfee and ESPN's business plan here?
I want to see how it is. Maz talks about this all the time, and I agree with Maz 100%. They can't have the same exact type of show that Pat McAfee was doing. You can't do that at ESPN. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to be the same. A lot of people have gone away from ESPN, and I feel like that's what they're using Pat McAfee for, to bring those guys in. A lot of people lost their jobs. Obviously, you're talking about Van Gundy. You talk about Jalen Rose. You talk about Culver. You talk about Steve Young. But there are a ton of individuals that work at ESPN. They still have a ton of young talent. Like, let's ask this question: were we really turning in ESPN to watch Jeff Van Gundy? And I know Maz likes Jeff Van Gundy.
I do like Jeff Van Gundy, but
But
no.
is it that big of a deal for you?
No.
Is Jalen that big of a deal for you?
No, I do like the team of Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, and
I
Mark
agree.
Jackson. I
agree.
am a fan of teams. That to me was a good broadcast team that I hate to see broken up.
I think they're just going young. And Maz, I want to bring you in on this. ESPN is going young, and I think they felt the audience that they just fired, the audience isn't connecting with those. There was a disconnect there, and that's why they didn't have a problem firing them. Maz, I asked you, do you think this is going to affect ESPN in the long run? Like, is it the $85 million in Pat McAfee? Like, is that directly reflection of who got fired? Or at the same time, is ESPN going this way anyway?
That's the audience they want now.
Yeah.
They want the McAfee audience. They want the YouTube generation. Guys like me, we're dinosaurs. They don't care about me anymore, although I was the first guy to watch ESPN back in the early 80s. It is what it is.
He said
it's going to be more women, and it's going to be less old guys. That's just the facts of life. That's what ESPN's trending towards anyway. So it is what it is. I told you, I don't watch ESPN unless there's a game on or Scott Van Pelt maybe has some decent stories, because I do sports all day. And at this time of the year, we're all trying to pick up stories, trying to talk about anything, trying to have some fun with you guys. And I'm not going to tune in a sports show on top of that. I'm going to watch my games. I watch my baseball. I watch my MLB network. I'll watch a game if it's on TNT or ESPN or whatever channel, NFL Network. Last night, I watched the 1995 AFC Championship game. Can you guys tell me anything about that game?
1995
Yes.
AFC? Well, that's the
AFC
Jacksonville
Championship game.
Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
Hold on. I know who it is.
Close.
90?
This has a tie to home a little.
Okay, tied on. It was 95.
1995 AFC Championship game?
It can't be Buffalo. So it'd be
No,
the
it's the Steelers at home against who?
Jacksonville.
No.
Steelers 95.
When I tell you it has a tie to home in Ann Arbor.
Oh, the Colts.
Yes.
The Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
It was
Captain comeback.
the Hail Mary that
Hail
should have counted.
Mary.
That
Isn't
should
that
have
something?
counted.
I remember that.
That's it. It was
Jim
an awful,
Harbaugh.
awesome game. I
Got
remember
screwed.
watching it back then.
I
and
remember that.
watching it now. You know who scored the winning touchdown for Pittsburgh?
Jerome
Morris.
Bettis.
Remember
Bam Morris.
Yeah, Bam Morris.
Bam Morris.
That
Wow.
was so that's what I watch, man. ESPN's not gonna. They don't care about me anymore.
But
so
but
it is what
that's-
it is.
But Maz, that's the thing though. You're 61 now,
Yeah.
and no disrespect to you, ESPN is trying to
Yes.
they're trying to garner that younger crowd.
They want the new Maz.
They want the kids that are making bets. Like they want the kids that are
Yeah,
into
facts.
sports betting. They want the kids that are into Barstool. They want the kids that are into Woodward Sports. They want the kids that are into that opinionated, go for what you know, the gusto, like young, kind of trending type of deal. And that's what they're after.
What are their top shows? All the shows that are
Yeah.
yelling.
You know, one of the
I don't
guys that
listen
was
to the yelling
You know, one of the
shows.
guys
True.
that was not named today was Jay Williams.
He still could be on
Not
that
yet.
list.
He still could be out there yet, because I'm looking at this list, whether it's Susie Colbert, Jeff Van Gundy, Keyshawn Johnson, Max Kellerman, Jalen Rose, Todd McShay.
Everybody on that
They're-
list is 40, is 50 and up.
Well, everybody on that list is an analyst
Right.
too. They're not entertainers.
Right.
And that's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. And hear me out here. When there's a big sports story that happens, where are you going? You go
The news.
Well, no.
So
You
tell me
go to
there's a big-
Stephen A.
you said
Smith.
when there's a big sports
You go to
story.
Stephen A. Smith. It's
Colin.
Colin,
Yeah.
Skip. You can
Yeah.
hate Skip all you want. He
Undisputed,
draws
yeah.
a number. You can hate Stephen A. all you want. He draws a number. Colin is the smartest guy in this business I've ever seen,
I agree.
personally.
I agree.
So it's all these debate shows. When you are a boxed-in analyst talking about sports, everybody in the chat, I'll tell you, everybody in the chat, whenever we talk about anything that's not related to sports, I thought this was a sports show.
Right.
The sports. I thought this was a sports show. You're going down the road at 97.1. This, that, and the other thing. It's not true. How you doing? Yes,
the word,
yes.
brother.
Let's talk about the best pretzels today.
Well, and what I'm trying to tell you is the people that are drawing the viewer today are the entertainers. Nobody cares about Keyshawn Johnson, Todd McShay, Jeff Van Gundy, Jalen Rose telling me the ins and outs of the sport. It just it's not resonating with the fans out there today. It's all about entertainment. That's why Skip Bayless. That's why Stephen A. Smith. And to a lesser extent, because he's not as argumentative, but Colin Cowherd. That's why those guys make the money, get the views, and have the longevity that they have, in my opinion.
I mean, well, it's very true. We live in the social media age. We live in the age of entertainers. I mean, you look at social media. Social media is, I'm going to throw it right to you, Maz. We live in an era where everybody's trying to entertain. Nobody cares about the validity of great actors anymore. They care about actors on social media. They don't care about great comedians and the work they do. They care about Instagram, social media influencers. How funny can you be in 15 seconds on social media? They care about how much basketball information can you give me while entertaining me about what happened with Kylie and Kendall and Chloe and blah, 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 and Kanye. Everything is about entertainment. You're absolutely right, but it stems with the social media age. Everybody is trying to figure out, how can we take what's working on social media and put that on air? How can we take this 15 seconds, this 30 seconds, and put this on ESPN, put this on Fox, put this on the big networks? Maz, they're going the way of fake humor, fake analysts, and they're going away with social media.
If you know a kid that is ages 8 to, let's say, 17, I guarantee you that I'll take my 8-year-old kid, for instance, just to expound on what you said.
Okay.
She doesn't know one actor's name.
Nope.
But she could tell you about 20 YouTube influencers that she wants to be like, or that, like, those are her celebrities.
Yeah.
You know, as sad as that is, maybe that makes me a bad parent. You can tell me all you want,
That
but
just
I'll
makes
tell
you a parent in 2023.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Tom, I mean, your girls are, you know.
My girls know a little bit about everything now. They're older than your kids.
Right.
But just to go back to what Braylon was saying, and you, when you said if there's breaking news, where am I going? I'm not going to Skip. I'm not going to Stephen A. It depends on what the breaking news is. If it's baseball, I'm throwing on MLB Network. If it's football, I'm putting on NFL Network. If it's hockey, maybe I'll put on ESPN or CBC. But I will tell you this, Pat McAfee, as good as he is and entertaining as he is, I can only take him in small doses. And you know, we were driving today, and you were on the phone, and you were talking to somebody on the phone, doing some business for Fox. And I was like, man, it's just a lot of talk. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear a lot of talk, a lot of yelling. I don't want to be yelled at.
I wasn't yelling.
Yeah, well, you talk loud, okay? I just don't want to be yelled at. And I just felt like I almost wanted to jump out of the car at one point.
I do
not like the Pat McAfee yelling, the Stephen A. yelling. I like Stephen A. I just don't like the yelling.
I go out of my way, Braylon. Let me tell you, I go out of my way today to pick him up.
And he complained about the ride.
And then he complains about the ride. I said,
on air, by the way.
I said, Maz, I'm sorry. I got to do the 11, so I got to work till 12. I'm not out there till 12:20. I'm on the air, you know, for Fox for 3 hours. I'm on the air here. I got to take care of some business. I got to call some people back. I got to make my calls in the car. So I'm not going to have much time to talk to you.
Blah, blah,
I talk loud. That's what he has. That's what he says to me.
But Maz has this thing where Maz is like, you know, I just don't like yelling and blah blah. I understand. Maz has been in this business since 1993. They've been yelling since the 60s. They've been yelling since the 70s. They've been yelling since the 80s. I've been listening to talk radio with my father since the late 80s in terms of the first time I can remember. It's not like people haven't been arguing.
Right. This guy grew up on Mad Dog and Russo. And
I didn't want to say that for the millionth time, but yes. Mad Dog Russo, you grew up on that. Like,
I just don't want to hear yelling.
I mean, Mike and the Mad Dog. Mad Dog is Russo. Chris
I just think
Russo,
you could have had your conversation and made it about 10 minutes less. That's all. That's just my opinion. This is my opinion.
This is sure, and everybody's
like I was trying to. I wanted to help you at one point and say, "All right, that's it, right there. You're done.
All right, very good.
You're done.
Very good.
You're done."
Well,
okay,
I wanted to explain.
ESPN, you can have it. Man.
Very good. Very good. All right, guys. We're going to talk some Lions football next. Another ESPN. Did he lose his job today? By the way, Tim Hasselbeck.
I don't think so. He's not on the list.
Matt Hasselbeck might be on the list.
Fired Tim Hasselbeck.
Oh, maybe Matt Hasselbeck did.
We're going to take the ball and we're going to win.
All right. We'll talk. Tim Hasselbeck talks about the Lions' chances to win the NFC North, and David Montgomery being looked at as well. We'll have some Lions talk next. We'll get Rob Sims up to the table in just a little bit. But first, a message from Les Stanford, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Les Stanford, for over 55 years, has set a standard in the car market over there in Dearborn. for Chevy and Cadillac. They have expanded their brand into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 55 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC offers the same great service that customers have come to know in Dearborn. All you have to do is go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella, LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Find
new roads.
New roads.
Find.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching live, fox2detroit.com as well.
Is it getting hotter?
Oh, man. We are live at Dispo in Romeo.
Much.
This place is massive. You walk inside. This place is packed. Steady stream of cars. Braylon Edwards in and out of here. Very exciting place to do business.
I'm going to have a talk with Tim, man, because it's hot as hell out here, man. The place was far as hot outside. I'm going to have a talk with Tim when we get in, man.
Well, that's why we treat our guests. We put them under the tent. We keep them cool and calm. The great Rob Sims is in the house, former Detroit Lion, of course, as his cannabis company with Primitive Performance. Rob, how you doing, my friend? Absolutely. Now, Rob, you can get Primitive products inside Dispo here. How cool is that?
Quick question, Rob. You know, you and I, we go back a little ways now. We got the running joke, the infamous Queen joke, you know, which is, I'll save it for this time so it's funnier next time. But just talk about when you guys first started this venture. You know, it started Primitive, what you saw you guys doing to where it is now. You guys are in 100 stores. You guys are all over the country. You guys are now speaking on behalf of the effects of cannabis and how it's much cleaner than opioids on the liver and things like that. Just talk about the start. Talk about to where you are now. It's been a great ride watching from the outside.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. You know, it's you know, a lot of people get to see the finished product, man, but it was just it was so much work to get to this point. You know, the beginning stages of Primitive were rocky like any other startup business. But, you know, I had a great partner, Calvin Johnson, and, you know, when you've got a connection with a guy like we do, you know that we'll be able to get through it, whatever it is. And that we've done that, just overcame obstacle after obstacle. Now I look up, you know, we got 50 team members and counting, getting ready to launch in Boston here in 2 weeks, Primitive store. I mean, it's been an unbelievable blessing to be, see where we are right now. It's crazy.
You mentioned your partner and good friend Calvin Johnson, former teammate as well. You guys did your first golf outing. It was the Calvin Johnson outing, but you are a huge part of that as well. Talk about even that, you know, having the first golf outing in the midst of Primitive and what you guys are doing, having all that success. It seems like things are really kind of lining up for you, but like you said, you put a lot of work in to get to there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, definitely a lot of hard work to get to this point, but you know, I think, you know, me and Calvin always have a phrase. We say, keep stacking, you know, just keep stacking good days on top of good days. And I think we've done that. Every day we've come out and just got a little bit better. And now we're kind of seeing the fruits of the labor. And the golf outing is kind of, that was cool to see.
Yeah.
It was like a homecoming, you know, seeing players, you're there, you know, it's always good to see you and hang out. Seeing players, guys I played with, man. So I just hope that grows, and I can't wait to build the Primitive Cup. So that's what I think we'll call it. That's the next one we're gonna do.
That sounds cool.
And you know, when we talk about these products too, Rob, I mean, Braylon talks about their advantages all the time. When do you think, and tell me if you've had any conversations with the NFL, when do you think the NFL will get on board with using this medicine? And it really is medicine for people, for the body to heal. We talk all the time. I mean, how many pills does Braylon Edwards, and I know him better than anybody else. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is during the season, how many shots did he have to have? How many pills did he have to take? How many times did he have to recover his body with really a lot of unhealthier ways than to do it now?
By the way, speculative.
Allegedly. But
that's all true, though.
But I think that's all part of what you're trying to do, too, right?
Oh, yeah, you know, for sure. You know, I mean, definitely, you know, no secret. You know, I used cannabis when I was playing. You know, cannabis helped me get ready for the train wreck I had to go through every single week, you know, playing in the NFL. And it helped a lot of other players as well, you know. And it's unfortunate that we haven't made the switch in our minds that cannabis is something that can help us. But it's coming. You know, we see it in the Major League Baseball. They just went out and getting really involved in CBD. Had some early conversations with Major League Baseball. So, you know, we're really excited about, you know, what's next and people's attitudes changing. And, you know, absolutely, we see this as something that's going to be able to help people long term. You know what I mean? Not just a get high product.
Rob, speaking of earlier conversations, we've been watching this thing matriculate in the NFL now, or maturate, excuse me, or lack thereof. 2 years working with sports betting. And you see where the sports betting is coming. I feel like every other day now we're announcing an individual or individuals that bet on sports, and now you got guys coming out like Tennessee Titans offensive lineman where he's telling his story until it's legal here. This is what I did. What do you make, us being former players, the NFL, they're always saying what they did. They're always saying how they presented information to players. If things like this are continuously happening, you see Jamison Williams, see the Lions have 5 different individuals. You see it's continuously coming out. What do you make of the NFL and how they're presenting sports betting, because it doesn't seem to be working?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's an issue. I mean, I always looked at the NFL as being like a little microcosm of what the world really looks like, right? You got guys from all kind of different places and areas and backgrounds and stuff like that, and guys that are addicted to different things too. You know what I mean?
This
so
is true.
if you have opportunities, to feed that addiction, sometimes it's dangerous. And our world is feeding into those addictions for everybody. We see it in basketball, we see it in football. Certain things that aren't necessarily illegal, but are frowned upon when you're a player. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're held to a higher standard because you have to be a role model, but you're a person too, and a young person that is trying to figure his way through life. So, it's unfortunate. We need to do a better job with that, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Talking to Rob Sims, a 9-year NFL vet, played 5 years with the Detroit Lions, co-owner of Primitive Group. You can find all their products, primitiveperformance.com. You can even get some of those here at Dispo in Romeo behind us. Rob, can you do one more segment with us?
Absolutely.
We'll talk some football.
Talk football.
All
man.
right, let's talk some football with Rob Sims. We'll do it next, but first a message from Planet Fitness. Did you know what Planet Fitness is trying to do right now? They are opening their doors to everybody, every single human being out there. They're opening their doors to. You can walk in now through Sunday and work out for free. They're not going to free. They're not going to try to sell you anything because of the air quality out there. They want to make sure that people are still getting their workouts in, so they're inviting the public inside their gyms. There are over 50 Planet Fitness locations in the area. Just walk on in, and they won't try to sell you anything. Use their equipment totally free now through Sunday. You can do that because of the air quality out there, and we want to thank Planet Fitness for doing that. Find the one near you, planetfitness.com. We'll be right back with Rob Sims talking some football.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
about him getting fired.
Ain't that something?
Is that how it works?
I mean, Ohio is, and Braylon knows this, right? There is no other game than that Ohio State-Michigan game. Yeah. Even to the point where you got a coach that's putting up crazy numbers like that, and he ain't got it done in a couple years, and you thinking about he got to go. But that's how big the game is, you know what I mean? Big be a part of that. So, it's unfortunate for Coach Day. Let's hope we get one this year. Keep rolling.
I'm being honest. I always, and I know my Michigan fans out there are going to get pissed, I always respected that about Ohio State, though. They put so much emphasis on the game, which is the game you're supposed to put all the emphasis on. And if that game doesn't go right, and if it doesn't go right over the span of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then they have to make decisions. And they've always made the better decisions. Look, man, John Cooper was one of the best coaches Big Ten had ever seen. Couldn't beat Michigan. You get Jim Tressel. Jim Tressel, he couldn't stop whooping our ass. You know what I'm saying? But I see that, though. Then you bring in the intern coach. It didn't work. Then you bring in Urban Meyer, and the rest is history. I've always admired that. If you can't get the job done, you got to bring in somebody to do the job. So, look,
100%.
I've always been there with Ohio State as it relates to that.
What do you think of transfer portal and all this? I say craziness. I mean, there's a guy, what's his name? The kid that's been the quarterback of 4 different teams, USC, West Virginia. I mean, he's all over the place.
Keaton Levis?
Keaton Slovis. Been played 4 years. He's been a quarterback for 4 different teams.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's definitely crazy. It's definitely foreign to how it was with me. I mean, you just had to kind of stick it out and ride it. But with today's NIL and what the money looks like for kids, I mean, they better go make that business decision. If you need to go get on the field, go get on the field, man, by all means. But it's definitely it's like there's no rules in college right now. It's crazy, man. I can't imagine when we were playing if it was like this. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it made $10 million my pretty face. Who knows?
Hey, you definitely would, especially in the Queen's employ. But the crazy thing about it, too, is the other side of it is Ryan talks about this, is it also makes men. What if Tom Brady with the situation with Drew Henson? What if he transfers and doesn't become Tom Brady? Hell, my first year at Michigan, I didn't get along with Coach Carr. It's no secret. What if I would have left and went to Marshall? I wouldn't have been the same wide receiver. I wouldn't have had the same luxury. So sometimes it is good to firmly plant those feet, man, and 100%. Deal with adversity, man, because it makes you a stronger person. But at the same time, like you said, money talks and BS walks. Yeah.
Money talks.
Hey, Rob, do you consider yourself more of an NFL fan or a college football fan?
I would say I'm probably an NFL fan. Yeah. My wife, who's here with me today, her father played in the NFL. Tony Nathan played at Alabama. Roll Tide to those folks.
Okay.
And then my
you got
dad,
a big smile there.
Yeah.
You said Roll Tide. You got a big smile.
Hey, this is part of date night.
So hold on. So how does that work with 2014?
It was awful.
You guys don't know what I'm talking about. 2014.
It was awful, especially when you lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been it's been a fun rivalry, and like you said, my dad played for the Browns, so we're very, very much a football family. So NFL, man, I just love seeing the guys that are at their peak. So that's what we got in the NFL.
Rob, before we cut you loose, let me go back to the NFL for a second. How far do you think this Lions team can get? When you look at the landscape of the NFC, a lot of people are talking about the Eagles and the 49ers and maybe even the Cowboys. You've got another one of your former teams, Seattle, out there. They could potentially challenge out west as well. Where are you in terms of the group of teams in the NFC? Where you feel like the Lions fit?
I think they're in a good shape, obviously because Aaron's not here anymore, right? I think that's one of the biggest things, man.
First time in 30 years, no Brett Favre, no Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, just crazy that competition and going up against those guys. So we gotta win. We gotta win the North straight up. We gotta do that, period. And then when we get in, like all Lions team, we go out there with that grit and they're opportunistic, and we get the call once in a while. You know what I mean? We can go deep.
On the other side, have you ever seen a conference as it seems like so lopsided? You've got Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I mean, I think Deshaun Watson is going to have a heck of a comeback year this year. Trevor Lawrence, all these quarterbacks in the AFC, my goodness, any one of them could win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the amount of talent, especially at the quarterback position, I mean, I think that's why we see these kids flip-flopping in college, right? That position is such a high regard, and you're seeing the best ever right now. You know what I mean? The skill level of these guys across the board is unreal. So it's fun to watch. It's going to be a fun year.
I will say this, right? Let me know if you agree with me on this, Rob. as talented and as dominant as the AFC is, as it relates on paper, as it relates to wins and as it relates to the quarterbacks that quarterback those teams, the starters, all it takes is one game. And that NFC side of things, man, all you need is one game. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles, man. If their defensive plan was a little bit better last year, they beat the best quarterback and the best team in the NFL, which would have been the Chiefs. So as dominant as the AFC is, NFC, all you need is one game, correct?
One game. That's all you need, man. I mean, it's the NFL. Everybody is good, right?
Yeah.
And when you come out, everybody is good, right? It's all about how they come together collectively determines how good the team is.
Rob Sims. Check him out, primitiveperformance.com. You can get some of those items right here at Dispo where we are in Romeo. Rob
100
Sims.
locations
they are
in.
Absolutely.
100 different locations around the country.
Absolutely. Look for yours at primitiveperformance.com. We'll be right back here on Woodward Sports Network.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's...
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady
All right.
Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but two vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, two cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Wicked.
We welcome back Tom Mazawey, too. Maz, did you have a good air conditioning break?
I did. I took 5 inside and got back out here, sat in the Maz chair, which is out in the parking lot area, which I wouldn't have mind sitting out there today. Get a little suntan like you guys.
You were in there for longer than 5 minutes because I caught you.
You were there for about 20 minutes.
Exactly.
No, not really. I was in there for...
First segment is 14 minutes.
But I was out here for the first 10 minutes
segment.
of that segment. I was out here for the first 10 minutes of that segment.
And then you were in there for the first 5 minutes.
You could not have possibly seen me go in. Impossible.
Bam, you know what time it is.
Anyway, I do have fill in the blank Friday whenever you're ready.
Oh, you do? Well, can we do the breaking news first?
Of course.
The breaking news, Tom Mazawey, will go to you for this.
Okay, the Pistons have a new player. They made a trade. That's
Trade?
right. And guess what? They made a trade with the Brooklyn Nets to get Joe Harris, the sharpshooter. He comes over. His $18 million contract comes with him, and the Nets also get a second-round pick. Unfortunately, that means the Nets now have enough money to sign Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson, and that's a lot. I think that's honestly that's the name that a lot of Pistons fans I think wanted to hear is Cam Johnson, and probably he will re-sign with the Brooklyn Nets now. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but it does appear that the Nets are making this trade with the Pistons to clear up some cap space so that they can sign Cam Johnson.
Yeah, the Pistons are nowhere near being the 8th seed or being the 7th, 6th seed in the NBA, so they didn't get Cam Johnson, but I'm fine with it. I'm still under the same mind. I'm excited to see what a coach like Monty Williams is going to do with this young talent. Cade comes back this year. The best thing that I want to see, how does Cade, how does Jaden Ivey, how does Jalen Duran, how do these guys play together? How does Monty Williams make these guys better? So, yeah, we didn't get Cam Johnson, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm okay with rocking this thing for another year under that young nucleus led by Cade Cunningham with Monty Williams as the head
Rod
coach.
Beard joins us in about 25 minutes from now. He'll talk more about
Absolutely.
more NBA free agency.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll do that. All right, guys. It is the time of the week, each and every week, that we like to play Fill in the Blank Friday. Fill in the Blank Friday.
Yeah, y'all know I'm miserable when I'm hot, so
Fill in the Blank Friday. You're doing a good job, Braylon Edwards.
Appreciate
doing a
that,
good
brother.
job.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Where's the tent? When you
It is.
Hey, shout out
it
to
is
Jenna Newman.
Scorching out here. by
Jenna
the
Newman
way.
of the chat is out here hanging with us
Put
as
us,
well,
like,
so
right
give
here
her
next
a
time.
shout out as well.
Absolutely.
Here we go. First fill in the blank Friday question has to do with D-Hop. D-Hop will sign with blank.
Yeah.
The Ravens. I think when it's all said and done, he will end up in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson and Odell Beckham Jr. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. I know that's not a team hot and heavy on his trail right now, but I think he would have. I think this is going to be a big deal. I think this is going to be a big deal. I think he's going to Baltimore.
Baltimore is a cost-effective team. They already spent $18 million potentially on Odell Beckham, who's coming off 2 ACL surgeries. I can't see them spending more money for an older guy and D-Hop, who the big thing for him right now is he can't separate or get in by anybody. So I love Baltimore. I just know about that. For me, I think I think it's going to come down to Kansas City Chiefs and the Patriots.
What if he goes to New England? Because if he goes to New England, that is a team that I do not consider as a playoff team.
Yeah, they're not a playoff team, but it's Bill Belichick. You know, D-Hop is in this space right now where I think we're trying to, where is D-Hop going to go? And this is what happens with the fan or the person that's not in the room is you think every team is an option. Like we sit back and we're like, oh, what if he goes here? Or he can go here, or he can go there. There are really only a few options, and those are going to be people that want D-Hop. Those are going to be people that are paying D-Hop what he believes he's worth. Those are going to be people that actually say, you know what, he's not a head case or he's not that. He's a guy that can help the franchise, and I don't think right now there's too many of those. So I think it's Kansas City or it's the Patriots.
If he goes to New England, are they a playoff team?
No. AFC is tough, man. I understand what Bill Belichick is trying to do, but what I told you yesterday, Bill Belichick has gotten 3 wide. If they get D-Hop, there'll be 3 wide receivers that don't separate. Juju Smith-Schuster, Devontae Parker, and D-Hop. Don't get separation. They got 2 tight ends. Mike Gesicki, hell of an athlete, still unproven. Their best player on offense would essentially be their running back, and that's what they're trying to get back to.
Shonda Stevenson.
Exactly. Ramondre, they got defense, and then they have a running game, and then they got a bunch of slow wide receivers. So you can't win in this league if you can't put points on the board. If you're playing the Los Angeles Chargers or you're playing the Miami Dolphins or you're playing one of these high-powered offenses, you get down 21-3 at halftime. You get down 21-7 at halftime. How are you going to score points on these teams? Patriots, I don't care what they do, they are not a playoff team this year, and based off how they're building, they won't be a playoff team for the next couple of years.
Maz, where's he going?
I think New England. I think New England's going to pull it off. He wanted to go to a stable environment. He's got Bill O'Brien there as the OC. I believe he's got some history with him. I think that's the place for him when it's all said and done. Here we go. Blank.
All history isn't good history. Just
Blank will be the starting 49ers wide receiver, quarterback. Blank will be the starting 49ers quarterback in Week 5.
Well, I mean, I'd have to say Trey Lance. Right now. Is Trey Lance going to win that job, or are they going to give it to Sam Darnold? Are they going to start the season with Sam Darnold? If they start, well, let me change my mind here. I think you start with Trey Lance, and then you go to Sam Darnold. I don't think you go to Sam Darnold. I don't think you start with Sam Darnold and then go to Trey Lance. Does that make any sense?
Well, for you it does.
You can bring in the veteran. But I don't, I'll say Trey Lance. I think their quarterback situation is effed up completely.
I don't think the situation is that effed up. I mean, they're a team that's great. You saw what they did with Brock Purdy last year. He was irrelevant, last pick in the draft, and they won 7 games in a row. And if he's healthy, you could argue they get to the Super Bowl. So they don't need – they're letting you know they don't need that much a quarterback. You bring in Javon Hargraves and pay him all this extra money. Now their defensive line that was arguably first in the league last year, right behind the Eagles. Now they're first in the NFL. They don't need a great quarterback. I think it's Brock Purdy. Like, I really do think it's Brock Purdy. And as it relates to Trey Lance isn't a good quarterback. Kyle Shanahan, everywhere he's been, has been a quarterback whisperer. You can look at RG3, made him rookie of the year. He beat out Andrew Luck. You look at what's his name? Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer won 7 games with Kyle Shanahan. I mean, the list goes on of quarterbacks that have had success. Jimmy Garoppolo got to the Super Bowl. You look at Matt Ryan. He made Matt Ryan an MVP. Everywhere he's been able to get Matt Schwab was a 3-time Pro Bowler under Kyle Shanahan. Everywhere he's been, the quarterback has been great except Trey Lance. Trey Lance is not the quarterback. And he didn't want Trey Lance. That was a John Lynch and what's the owner name? Jed York. They wanted Trey Lance to keep up with the Joneses.
I think Sam Darnold starts. I think Brock Purdy finishes.
I like that, too.
That's my pick. All right, here we go. Ezekiel Elliott will play for blank. I'm talking about the team, not the money.
Los Angeles Chargers.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Los Angeles Chargers. You look at a team that's already ready to win. They were in the playoffs last year. Should have went further. They should have beat Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Austin Eckler doesn't want to be there, but they're keeping him there. I think Zeke wants to be in a space, 1, where he can win, 2, it's a big city, and 3, where he won't get that many touches, but enough touches to still be a premier situation. I like the Chargers.
You ready for this?
Yep.
The New York Football Giants. They've got some problems with Saquon Barkley right now. There is nothing more that Ezekiel Elliott would love to do than to play the Cowboys twice a year. And I'm going to go with he's going to stay in the NFC East. I've got Philadelphia crossed off my list because of the DeAndre Swift trade. They've got a stable of backs there now. So I'm either going to go Washington or the Giants, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm staying in that division, and I'm going right back to where he came from. I think he'll be a Dallas Cowboy again.
Wow. I actually like that move a lot, man. That's a good call by you, Ryan. Why would he go to the Commanders or the Eagles? I mean, or the Giants? He's not on. He's not on salary. He's not under contract. He can go where he wants to. He's made a lot of money. Why would he go to a team of the Giants that most people don't even think they'll be a playoff team this year? And then the Commanders themselves. Oh my God, that's horrible. Like he has money and he has patience. He can go wherever he wants.
Yeah. No, he could. Just to stick it to the Cowboys.
But why am I going somewhere that's not going to win just to stick it to the Cowboys? Like, I got money and I've already won.
I guess he's not.
I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't want to go. Like, with Saquon Barkley, it's more like.
I guess he's not.
It's like a competition thing. Like, if I was, like, I'll give you an example.
All right.
No, it's fun. This is fun. Like,
I know. I'm having fun.
It's freaking 90 degrees out here. We ain't talking about nothing. No, man. Like, look, if I was in the league and, it's like, all right, bet, team cut me. Let's say the Jets cut me. Actually, it's the same thing they did. Jets cut me. Am I now going to go to a team with a receiver that just is a little bit younger than me from the Big Ten? Now I got to replace this guy and I got to back this guy up? Hell no. I wouldn't went and back Santonio Holmes up. I wouldn't went back, you know what I'm saying, like guys like that. I don't know. It's competition.
All right, here we go, guys. This one's a good one. You got to put your thinking caps on for this. These two non-playoff teams will definitely make the playoffs this year. So I need a blank and a blank.
All right, definitely got Detroit. And I'm going to go New Orleans.
All right.
Detroit, New Orleans.
Saints and Lions. Braylon, two teams that didn't make it last year that will definitely make it this year.
Carolina and the Bears.
Oh, Bears.
I like the Bears. I keep inching towards liking them more and more and more. This is one of the things. Everybody was so excited about Anthony Richardson. Everybody was, Anthony Richardson, draft him. He'll change your team's trajectory. We want him here. We want him there. Well, Justin Fields is essentially much better quarterback than Anthony Fields. Anthony Richardson, I saw Justin Fields go to a national title. I saw Justin Fields beat Clemson. I saw Justin Fields, when things were kind of right in Chicago, have some success. They put some good defensive players around him. They put some good offensive players around him. This ain't a great division right now. I mean, they got the Detroit Lions picked to win the NFC North. I'm telling you, Chicago is going to be a sleeper. I like Chicago and Carolina.
This one's easy. This is the Jets and the Lions. That's my two definite playoff teams.
The
Jets and Lions. Here we go. A little NBA for you guys.
Can you take it? Can you hold it? We'll do it next segment.
Absolutely.
Because I got to get a break in.
All right.
And I got to get a break in and let people know where we are. It is from Dispo.
You know what time it is? The best dispensary in the state. Over 10 locations. We are currently here now. The one in Romeo. Always have a good time when I come out here. More than 9 in the state. Simply put, 21 older, recreational only. But all the products, all the brands they use are the best. You want High Man? Come here. You want Oreos? Come here. You want my favorite, which is Runts? Come here. You want to, you know what? You want to get your dad some of that cream, CBD THC cream that he puts on his back, puts on his lower back like I do right before he golfs? Come to Dispo. Simply put, they are the best dispensary around.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
WoodwardSports.com live at Dispo in Romeo. Come get your swag. Come get your, can't say pot, can I?
No, you gotta go see Easy. Easy's in there.
Easy's working in there.
Easy's working hard, man.
You can see him at 5 o'clock, too.
This is like a Macy's for Easy.
Has weed been such a taboo word your whole life, Ryan Ermanni? Is that why it makes it hard to say weed?
No, I guess I'm old school. We used to call it pot.
Weed. But see, that's why I disagree with you, because you're 44. You're not 70. They did not call it pot at 44. They call it weed. I'm the same age as you. It's never been pot for us.
What's wrong with pot?
It's never been pot.
You said what?
What's wrong with pot?
I didn't say there's anything wrong with pot. I'm just saying
People
we
don't
didn't grow up
talk
in
like
an
that.
era where
Right.
we use pot. Like
Right.
you grew up in an era where they use pot, not us.
It's like Animal House with
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Rest in
Smoke
peace.
some pot.
That's why I'm like, pot. Like they weren't saying pot in the Chronic. You grew up in that era.
No,
They
I
were
know.
saying weed.
We're talking about that.
All right.
Maz smoking
Yeah.
on a little weed. Hey, did you
There
take
you
it?
go.
Got me at all?
No, I didn't take it.
All right, smoke on a little weed, Maz.
All right. I'll go in and get some secondary.
Get there
smoke
quicker.
in a few
Yo,
minutes.
What's up, man? How you doing,
Oh, that's
buddy?
Superman.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
there's no
Thanks,
there's
buddy.
no consumption on the inside, man.
That's a 9 fan.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
big fan of Dispo.
Big fan.
Tom Mazawey, let's little fill in the blank Friday
All right. Hey,
continued.
it's NBA free agency underway. Rod Beard coming up. So let me get you this. Kyrie Irving, whining again. Where is he going to be playing next year? So Kyrie Irving.
I got this one.
Kyrie Irving will be playing in blank next season.
I got this one. Dallas. He's
Staying
going
in
back
Dallas?
to Dallas. He's staying with Dallas.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice. Like
Yep.
there's no market for Kyrie. All these meetings, nobody's offering anything. Dallas, they have all the leverage, but I'm telling you, I see Dallas offering him a big deal. Dallas will be the only place to match what he's worth.
I think Cuban likes him.
I think so. I think so because he's like him. You know, at one point in time, Mark Cuban was very polarizing. He was somebody everybody wanted to pay attention to, what was going on, and I think for him, it reminds him of that in Kyrie.
All right. I got a two. Well, I still on Kyrie. I guess. Man, I know he wants to go to Phoenix, but they really can't afford him, and I'm not sure what a big four would do. We've seen what big threes do. So I'll say, yeah, let him stay in Dallas. I could care less as long as he stays away from me.
I think he wants to go to L.A. L.A. doesn't want him. Like, he and LeBron desperately want to play with each other again. Every interview you've seen Kyrie do in the last year and a half has been apologetic towards his time with LeBron. He's been, LeBron's the GOAT and this, that, and the third. Everything has been predicated on them getting back together. I just think Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, they're not having it.
They're smart.
Yeah.
All right, James Harden. Looked like he was going to opt out of his deal with Philly. Instead, he makes a deal with him. I'll take my $35-40 million, but you're going to trade me. So James Harden will play for blank.
James Harden will play for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think he'll be with the 76ers next year.
They say it's almost impossible for him to stay there.
Key word was almost.
Okay.
So
Ryan, where you going?
I will say he will stay on the East Coast and play for the New York Knickerbockers.
They don't want him.
I say the Knicks.
He's going to Houston. Remember we talked about that?
Houston does. Houston isn't going to give up any assets for him.
He won't go to Houston, and here's what's going to happen. Fred VanVleet is going to go to Houston. And when Fred VanVleet goes to Houston, it messes the whole market up.
All
And
right.
Adrian Wojnarowski for that one.
The Knicks.
Here we
He's
go.
Going to the Knicks.
The Pistons made a big deal today. Well, they made a deal. They got they traded with the Brooklyn Nets and got the sharpshooter Joe Harris. $18.5 million. They took on that deal to get a second-round pick. So my question is kind of a little off. The Pistons will sign who as a big free agent acquisition? He's not a free agent. They made a trade for him. So what free agent is coming to Detroit?
I don't think any, man. I think in the name of I think it's like the Lakers said. Everybody wants somebody to come to the Lakers. L.A. is clamoring for a big star. They got to the Western Conference Final, and they think they're the next. They think they're ready. Rob Pelinka said, we're good with what we have. We're going to repay Austin Reeves. We're going to repay the guys we got. I think the Pistons follow suit. As much as we want them to make that splash, I think they're trying to figure out who James Wiseman is, who Killian Hayes is, who their draft picks are, how to work Cade Cunningham along with Jaden Ivey. I believe they really, and then Bogdanovich, they love him as the senior mentor. I think they like this roster in terms of another year figuring it out. So I'm going to go with no one.
Yeah, I go with 0 big free agents.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to make some smaller signings and fill out a roster. But I think this is for me, and Troy Weaver can tell me he's going to take a big swing and a miss. Joe Harris is not a big swing to me. Joe Harris is no grand slam.
No, he's an added-on player.
Right. So who's he going to take a swing for? I don't think that player exists. Is Jeremy Grant a home run hitter player out there? I mean, we saw Jeremy Grant in a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like, I feel like, and I could be totally wrong about this, and there's maybe people know way more about this than I feel like Jeremy Grant and Cade Cunningham would not be able to coexist. When it comes down to it. When it comes down to the actual games and the ball being needed in one of the players' hands. Looks good on paper, and he's a talented player, but we talk about building a team, not acquiring talent. Those are two very different things. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying I don't think Jeremy Grant fits.
Yeah, we'll find out with Rod Beard coming up here in a few minutes, a little bit more. Maybe he's got some insight. So let's save our stuff till then. Here we go.
There we go.
This one is pretty simple. The Red Wings blank make the playoffs next season.
Not. I think they're still a year away. I think Steve Yzerman was extremely honest about where this team was a couple of days ago. This team is still in a collecting assets phase. This team is not in go-for-it phase. Last year they were in it till almost the bitter end. There was that home-and-home series with the Ottawa Senators. I'm not going to shout over the mic, over the mic. But there was that home-and-home, and at that point the season was over when they lost both games. So they'll be in it to the end. I just don't know if they have the horses yet.
I think they make the playoffs this year. I just think it's their time. I think Stevie Y has been doing a good job of putting this team together, adding pieces. I think they get Tyler Bertuzzi back. I think that would be a good key piece for Dylan Larkin.
He's going to be a free agent now.
I think he comes back. I BS you not. I still like I like what Stevie Y is doing. Plus, I think this team gets it together this year. I think they'll take a step. I think Morris Siderby take his step this year. I know he's a defenseman. I think he takes a step. I think Dylan Larkin takes a step. The step, if you will. So I like it.
I like the Red Wings. Red Wings will make the playoffs this season. I think they will trade for a player or two. I don't think they'll get their big guy yet, but I do like them in the playoffs. All right, this one's for the 4th of July. It happens every year in Coney Island, of course. That's the hot dog eating contest for Nathan's. And Joey Chestnut, the defending champ again. And I think the over-under is set on 74.5 on this one. I'm not sure. 73.5.
So it's
is the over-under.
Down.
Joey Chestnut will eat blank hot dogs
I'm going under.
on Tuesday.
What's the record?
He has the record. I think it's 74.
I'll go with under. I'm going
give me a
under.
number. I need a number.
He wins, but under 74. I'll go with 65.
Ooh.
In terms of my Nathan's Hot Dog Challenge knowledge, I know that Joey Chestnut's been going down every year. He's still winning, but he's going down. But I won't answer because if I did, my mom would know that I watched the contest, and I don't want her to know that. So, no.
Why,
I
Mom
got
don't
no
want you
answer
watching
for
it?
you. You said what?
Mom doesn't want you watching it?
No, because it's a waste of time watching some white guy eat 90 hot dogs.
It's funny.
90 hot dogs.
Oh, I'm sorry, 74. Big
74
difference.
hot dogs.
It's the same thing.
I don't miss it.
I think it's stupid.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it's the epitome of the gluttony of our country, so I don't watch it.
All right. I got 75 hot dogs for Joey Chestnut. I think he breaks his record and goes up this time.
Maz,
you know what the hell with the competition? Let me know about this air quality. Where's this air quality really coming from? Because I'm bringing back something Ryan Ermanni said yesterday.
Oh, right.
I'm being
Where
honest.
them fires at?
Where them fires at? Where's the video? I went back and looked at that video footage I showed you. It feels eerily similar to some video footage I saw of the fires in California like 2-3 years ago. Like
that was fake video.
Somebody I know has the theory that all the cloud cover is like some alien stuff going on in the skies. They don't want you to look up.
That's probably
some
it.
UFO stuff going on, man. Their relationships, man. It's like Marvel, man. It's like Nick Fury and the Skrulls, man.
I think that's right. You see all these planes taking off over here in Romeo, too?
Hey, they trying to see what's up there.
Hey, Maz, what's happening in the chat? I've not been the glare with the sun and everything. I have not been
on
in
the chat right now. My phone was like overheating.
Okay.
So I shut it down.
That's why I put my phone down.
So I will we'll check it on the break.
All right, we'll check it on the break.
I'm going to get Rod Beard on the phone.
All right, you get Rod Beard on the phone. We'll talk to him next. We'll talk about Guardian Alarm now. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means that you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Here we go, Woodward Sports Network. WoodwardSports.com. We are live at Dispo in Romeo, the corner of Powell and Schaefer Drive, the great city of Romeo, Michigan.
I was up here.
Oh,
This is
man.
definitely up. Only time I ever came back here was for like football games, and we used to do this jamboree. How
about the Romeo Peach Festival?
Oh, the Romeo Peach
Yeah,
Festival.
how about
Second to none.
You can't mention peach around me, man. You know what I'm saying? I spent 7 years or 6 years in Georgia.
Oh, that's great.
Georgia is
I
the
thought you
peach-
meant something else.
Want to
No, it's
shout
the
out
peach
the great
state.
Jenna Newman, actually, over there, too, in the house.
Jenna's
Check
in
it
her
out.
car. She's smart.
Absolutely.
She can
She
do
is
that.
way smarter than we are. She
Yeah.
is in the air-conditioned car, but she is out
I
here.
wouldn't
Just, and we're
say
happy
us.
about her mom, too. She
going
had
back.
mentioned that her mom was going to have a surgery last week, and we got some good reports on that, so we're happy for you, Jenna. We love you guys.
Yes, sir.
All right. Pistons with a trade today.
Here we go.
So who do we go to with Pistons news? The great Rod Beard is with us now. Of course, Rod Beard, former beat writer for the Detroit News, Pistons beat writer, now the assistant sports editor of the Detroit News. You can find him on Twitter at @DetNewsRodBeard. Rod Beard, how are you, my friend?
Gentlemen, good afternoon. How are you?
Doing
good.
great, buddy. Thanks
Been a
for
while.
joining us on a Friday. I want to start with your reaction to the trade for Joe Harris.
No, I like it. I think they added an elite level shooter who's hitting 43% for his career. They don't have anybody like that on the roster.
I love that.
Right, and even if you use your cap space on that, this is a very kind of poor free agency class. I'd rather them do just 1 year of Joe Harris and kick the can down the road until next year when they have some better options than to make a bad signing that they're going to eat a bad contract for the next 4 or 5 years.
Rod,
Go ahead, Brad. Go ahead.
Rod, first of all, what's going on, my friend? It's been a minute since we've talked.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. Definitely can hear you. Hey, check this out. I am in the camp of, hey, look, Monty Williams, one of the biggest reasons why you bring a guy like Monty Williams is you saw the young players get better over his 4 years in Phoenix. So that was one of the reasons I'm excited. You don't have to necessarily make that splash this year, Rod, because this is a year to see Cade come back. How is Cade going to be as a leader in that role? How does Cade work with Jaden Ivey? And then, obviously, you bring in Joe Harris who can shoot. You bring back Bogdanovich. This is a year to see what the Pistons really have. Wiseman, you keep hearing his ceiling. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the year to see what the Pistons have built from then and then next year, or at least halfway through the season, the moves that you may have to make?
Yeah, I think if they had kept Dwayne Casey and just stayed on that course, you could have maybe higher expectations. I think with Monty and him trying to assess this roster, the players, and figure out the fits of all of these in his system, you got to give it another year of grace to figure it out. It may just end up happening very quickly, but I don't think people should have that expectation that this year is the year. It's play-in or playoffs or bust. I think you just really got to let a new coach right-size this roster, figure out the pieces that he wants, and then kind of adjust as you go.
Asar Thompson, pick 5, 2023 draft by the Detroit Pistons. Tell me why that was the right move.
Well, I think you didn't have better options there. If you weren't in the top 3 of this draft, you were going to get a second-tier player. And so they went with the best of that. Instead of trying to make a move that was going to make a big splash or to do something else, they weren't going to be able to trade up for Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson, and certainly not for Victor Wembanyama. Yeah. So you just take the piece that helps your rebuild, and he's not a great offensive player, but defensively they needed help. And I think that you can see the blueprint of what Troy Weaver's trying to do. If you're not getting big impact players, let's address specific needs. You needed a perimeter defender. You needed three-point shooting. He's done that already in the draft and now in the first stages of free agency.
Rod, I got a two-parter here for you. The first one is, do you see Bagley and Bohan staying here with the Pistons?
No, I think those are going to be the big questions now. Joe Harris doesn't really fit with the roster in terms of a starter, but I think they start to look at some other options where Bojan, you might be able to get some future draft capital for him, or you may be able to get another player who you can slide in somewhere else. But you could do a lot worse than adding a Joe Harris. But you've got that glut and that logjam of big men that you can use to try to improve your roster in other ways too.
So if Bagley is not here, if that's a chance to move him, does that give James Wiseman a chance to really blossom from there?
Yeah, I think so. And I think they've gone about as far as they can go with that many big men and trying to split those minutes up. You've got to make some decisions. And if it's not right now, it's in the early part of the season, definitely before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
That they figure out which direction they want to go with that.
Do you see a free agent that's willing to come here that would help this team? I mean, anyone will help this team. But do you see somebody out there? I know you heard Troy. I'm not going for singles or trying to steal second or whatever the hell he said. He wants to hit a home run. Is there a home run?
I don't think there's a home run in this draft class. You're not getting Harden. You're not getting Kyrie Irving to come here. I mean, Jeremy Grant might have been the best type of player that you would get. This move seems to signal that Cam Johnson is out of the running too. So if there is no home run that you can hit, then, yeah, you just try to move the runners over.
Yep.
Talking to Rod Beard on Twitter at @DetNews, Rod Beard. Rod, obviously there doesn't appear to be a home run hitter out there for the Detroit Pistons, but there are players that will help make this team better. Is there somebody that you believe that Troy Weaver has identified? Remember, back in the day, like when Allen Houston was a free agent, the New York Knicks were on his front porch at 11:59 p.m. Before the midnight. You know, like that.
I remember those days.
That kind of those kind of days. Jim Schwartz for the Lions when he was hired in Detroit on the front porch of Kyle Vanden Bosch or whatever. You know, I mean, is there that guy out there, even if he's not a home run hitter, somebody that Troy Weaver is going to make a point? He's putting his focus into X player here to grab him to come to Detroit.
Well, now this is limited because of the Joe Harris trade, because that's $20 million of the probably $30 million that they had. So they can't go out and get somebody else without making another deal. So again, I think that's the thing, is there are other moves that are coming. This isn't it. They're not going to start the season with this roster. They've got to move at least one or two other people to clear up some cap space, to do some other things. I think Jeremy Grant is that type of player. He can come in and start immediately. And a lot of Pistons fans are rolling their eyes and saying, we've been there, we've done that. That was a different roster. That was a different time period. And anybody who's dated knows it's time and place. There's a specific time you met somebody 20 years ago or 30 years ago that would have been really good for you, but it just wasn't the right time.
Oh, man.
So, Braylon, feel me on that.
You taking me. You see, I said, "Oh man, you took me back on that one." You took me back.
Braylon's about to start crying over here, Rod.
Hey, look, man. Sometimes you're not ready for a situation. You're
She's
absolutely
still
right
there.
on that,
or the situation's not ready for you.
Hey, there you go.
So that would answer my next question. You do believe that Jeremy Grant and Cade Cunningham can coexist currently? Now
Yeah.
they can. Yeah.
I think so, especially defensively. I think
Fair enough.
Grant's defensive side was something that they missed last year.
Right, here's a question for you. The three big men that Detroit is focused on right now, James Wiseman, Jalen Duren, and Marvin Bagley III. Which one of those big guys is the guy that you're most willing to see this upcoming season or even early on in preseason basketball? Which one of the three and why?
I'm excited about Jalen Duren. I think he is going to be a fantastic big man in this league, especially if he develops a perimeter game and he can shoot even kind of a mid-range jumper. That would be a big piece of his game. But I think he's got a tremendous lob threat with Cade Cunningham, and defensively he's only learning and growing there. I think he's your starter going into day one next year.
Hey, Rod, just looking around the NBA as a whole, you know, Draymond Green is out there. Chris Middleton is out there. You've got Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, of course, picked up his player option, but with an assurance that he'd be traded. Where do you think those guys end up? Is there a splash to be made in the NBA as a whole?
Yeah, I think that the James Harden saga is going to be very, very interesting to watch. And then Kyrie just carries his own drama with him in a carry-on. But I can't see Draymond Green being anywhere else but Golden State. That would be just the weirdest thing ever. We've come to know him synonymously with Golden State and those championship teams. But that's why the NBA is so good in the offseason, is because it has this kind of this drama that's there. No matter where guys go, it's going to be something you didn't expect, and it's going to carry a storyline with it.
Hey, Rod, I got one for you. Are we going to still see is Killian Hayes going to be on this team when the season starts?
No, I don't think so.
There we go.
Wow. Where's he going?
I think his days are numbered. When they drafted Marcus Sasser, that signaled to me that they were trying to make some contingency plans just in case they were able to move him.
How about Beef Stew?
Stew, I think, is a long-term stay. Unless you get something that you just can't refuse, that I think he's a guy that stays.
What is it about Beef Stew that you can't refuse? And this isn't coming from no.
Comes as Max Seal.
This is not coming from a place of hate or a place of putting Rod Beard on the spot. This comes from a place of looking at it and analyzing. I know going into last season, he wanted to focus on shooting the three-point more. Did not have a great three-point shooting percentage and didn't really shoot the three. To be honest, he didn't trust himself. I just look at him as an undersized big in this league that lacks the guard skill. So what is his value to the Detroit Pistons, if you will, Rod? And this is coming from an ignorant individual in this particular subject.
I think he fits the smaller center and maybe power forward sort of piece. And if you have him and Duren on the court at the same time, you're going to get a ton of rebounds. But I think that extension for him to play on the perimeter a little bit more is still developing. And you see it's there. When you think of a Bam Adebayo, he's that type of player that can be athletic, can be physical. But I think he's your mean guy. He's your goon that if something happens on the court, he's going to be in the middle of it. He's your muscle. He's your Rick Mahorn or your big
We saw that against
court,
the
and to be your enforcer. Yep, absolutely.
100%. Here's a quick fun one. With ESPN letting go of Jalen Rose, I know Jalen Rose's relationship with Tom Gore is much like you do. Is there any chance that Jalen leaves ESPN behind and the sport thing altogether and works with the Detroit Pistons in the front office? We know how much he loves the Pistons. We know the history of him, and we know the relationship with he and Tom Gore is. Humor me, if anything.
No, I think you'll see him at a few more games because he'll have a little bit more time on his hands. But I don't know if he takes a front office role. I don't know if he has the background. And again, if you didn't see Chauncey Billups come back and take a front office role or a coaching role, there's kind of a line that you got to get in to do that.
That's a good point.
All right, Rod, I do this to you every time at the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. I'm taking the Celtics to win the NBA championship in 23-24. Who do you have?
Oh, put me on the spot, man. I'm going to run it back and say the Denver Nuggets go back to back.
Nuggets.
Okay.
Jokic.
Okay.
The unsexy pick, but the very logistical true pick. Very understood.
Thanks, Rod.
Rod, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for being there. Assistant Sports Editor, Detroit News, on Twitter at @DetNews, Rod Beard. Subscribe to the Detroit News. Rod, thanks so much, my friend. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks.
Have a
Thanks,
great
guys.
weekend. Enjoy the
buddy.
4th.
You too.
The air
Absolutely. Guys, we'll take a break, come right back. When we do, go around the NFL. But first, a message from Big Boy.
That's right. It's Strawberry Fest at Big Boy. Start your day off with breakfast. Of course, the strawberry hotcakes, the mouth-watering red velvet waffle, or if you want some lunch, the strawberry bacon chicken wrap, the summer splash salad is very refreshing. And desserts, that's where it's at. The classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreo, or you can do whatever the heck you want. You can get the strawberry hot fudge cake. You can also order a hamburger. It's called the Big Boy at your local Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Hey, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. I want to tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company. Outdoor Equipment Company is your playtime place. That's right, your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company, your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com. Outdoor Equipment Company, your power equipment playground.
You found your cold one, didn't you? How hard did you have to find it? How hard did you have to look to find it? It was underneath in the back?
Told you.
Ask him how hard you had to look for it.
How hard did you have to look for the cold water, Parker? Not that hard.
See, he didn't look at the same
Look
cooler.
at that.
No, I'm good. I'm
Parker's
good.
out here working. JB as well. Tom Mazawey. Tom, I do want to give you a little bit of credit if I could.
Yeah,
you
thanks,
did
man.
say the Tigers were going to split with the Texas Rangers, and they did. They went on the road and split with the Texas Rangers. That's a very good ball club.
Big win.
Spencer Torkelson hit 2 home runs. You love to see it.
He's had a horrible month. His numbers are terrible. But you know what? It looks like he's got that star power in him. He's got it. He's just got to get help around him. We can't just put everything on this kid's shoulder. Riley Green, who knows when he's coming back. The pitchers are coming back. Matt Manning is looking great. Finally, after tweaking that foot early in the season, you're going to get Tarek Skubal back. Casey Mize is for next year. But we'll see if they can keep this together. Eduardo Rodriguez on the cusp of returning as well. They are 4 games out. They caught a game on the Tribe, so the Guardians and the Twins are tied for first. The Tigers are there, 4 games back. The White Sox are 5 games back. And then, of course, there are the Royals, who are the dreads right now. But, they've got their World Series in their pocket, and they're getting a new $2 billion stadium in Kansas City, going to get built for them. Right now, they share the parking lot with Arrowhead Stadium and Kauffman Stadium. Kauffman Stadium is one of the nicer parks there are, and it's a clean place, but they want the amenities, and Kansas City Royals are going to get just that.
No longer the Tribe, they are indeed the Guardians. But, looking at the Detroit system right now as it relates to all the teams, we've become the city, and I think we've always been that, but now we maybe believe it more than ever. Next year seems to be the year for the Tigers. Next year seems to be the year that the Pistons get somewhat better. Next year seems to be the year that the 35 and 37 Red Wings make the playoffs. Next year seems like the year that the Detroit Lions will not only win the NFC North, but the Lions will possibly get to the NFC Championship. Next year just seems like the year for Detroit sports.
I hope so. That would be really fun. The Tigers in Colorado for 3. Then they come home July 4th. They will be home for the Oakland A's. And then after that series, it is the All-Star break after that. So the All-Star break right around the corner, just a week away in Seattle. I saw the new jerseys for the All-Star game, and they look horrible.
Really?
I mean, they can't make a good jersey. When you see these guys, when you see these jerseys, you're gonna say, what the hell did they do?
I have just before you say that, I just want to make the Tigers have the next 6 games to make an opportunity to pick up about 3 games here.
They do.
I mean, the Guardians are on the road in Chicago facing the Cubs, already down 6-0 today.
There you go.
So the Guardians are probably going to lose. The Twins are on the road at Baltimore, who's 17 games over 500. So you expect at least Baltimore to win the series.
Yeah.
Man, oh, man, here we go. And the Tigers get the Rockies and the Royals, 2 of the worst teams in baseball.
Yeah, Maz, can you do me a favor? Can you call the MLB? Can you call the office?
sure.
And can you tell them there's no need to have a home run derby that starts at 8 and goes off at 11? There's no reason this year to have a 3-hour home run. Look, I've loved the home run derby much like everybody else.
Yeah.
Maz, I used to watch on on ESPN Classic.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I used to watch the home run derbies from the 1950s and 60s. Remember, they go out there,
Of course,
and
that was
there
that
was
old
nobody
Wrigley
around,
Park.
and they do it like weekly.
Yeah.
I used to watch those.
It was
so
a
I
television
love-
show.
I'm old school home run derby.
Yeah.
I don't need 3 hours to watch the
I
best
know.
guys in
It's
baseball.
garbage. But you know what? It's one of their higher-rated games on ESPN. Boring as hell, though.
I'm not even complaining. 2 hours is fine.
Yeah.
3 hours is too much. And then you get the guys that, look at last year with Juan Rodriguez from the Mariners. Hits the most home runs during the home run derby.
But he ran out of gas.
No, it's not that. He doesn't win because you got to hit a certain amount. And then to qualify, if you're in the league already, you only have to hit a couple. So you don't have to expend as much energy. And it makes no sense.
Julio will be the favorite this year in his home park at Safeco.
I'm excited to see
whatever
it.
they call it now.
No doubt about it. All right, guys, one more break here that I got to get in, and then we'll be back to wrap it up here at Dispo, tell you all the great things happening out here at Dispo. We'll do a little NFL on Monday. We will be there on Monday. Guys, let me tell you about Fairway Packing Company. Fairway Packing Company, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Ahead of your 4th of July party, ahead of your 4th of July backyard cookouts or go to the park, whatever you're going to do, visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. pick up some great steaks, celebrate the birth of our nation with some of the finest meat our nation has to offer. You absolutely, it's incumbent upon you. You have a moral obligation to your family
to get that meat,
to give them the best meat you possibly could do.
That's what I'm talking about.
And if you can't make it there, visit fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Thank everybody out here at Dispo. The kindness and the way you're treated out here, second to none. Want to thank Dispo for that. Absolutely. Just thinking about this Tiger situation, I do think 82 and 80 gets it done. Maybe even 78 and 84. Yeah. I mean, at this pace. Can the Tigers go 47 and 35 in their final 82 games of the season?
I mean, I think so. They're giving themselves
47 and 35.
Look, it's going to be tough regardless. The only reason why I would say no is they're now playing the harder part of their schedule. After this next two series, I think they finished much harder than they started.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the tough part. It's going to get harder. It's going to be, for a team that struggled when they played against the best competitors. But, shoot, why not? Just keep fighting. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're showing us at every turn. Look, they split with the Rangers. They were 2 out of 3 the last couple series. They've been, 75%. They're stacking up some wins. Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not sneak in this year and see what it feels like, see what it's like, and then next year in this offseason, it makes them that much more, determined, that much more willing, that much more understanding what's on the line. So look who's in the chair now.
All right, Easy, you know this place well.
Yes.
Tell me about what's cooking in there, and then tell me what you guys got coming up on the heavyweights today at 5.
The heavyweights, obviously, got the Pistons trade that I just found out about. That's pretty crazy. During the week, Lucas said the Detroit Lions were a top 10 secondary. Well, they can be a top 10 secondary. I think obviously chemistry got played in piece, but I think I might agree. I wrote down some teams on paper. I feel like there's some space there between 7 and 10, so we're talking about that as well. But here at Dispo, man, everything. This is literally the first cannabis mall in the state of Michigan. So quite literally, any and everything you're looking for, they got them. The biggest thing popping today is probably the half-off Jeters. Those are infused pre-rolls covered in keef. I can't handle them. But put you that way, they're pretty strong.
You're put out.
You gotta do it halfway.
Looking out the window out of there, flipping up the blinds.
Oh yeah.
Who's out there?
Who's out there? Who's that peeping through my window?
What is the brand that people come to Dispo for most? What's the brand? As soon as people are coming in, if they don't see it or they're like, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? I know me. I see Runts. I lose my stuff.
Yeah.
Runts is my guy.
Yep.
Hyman's another good one. What's the one here at Dispo that they've asked for the most?
Hyman.
Hyman,
baby.
110%
glass filters,
Hyman.
baby.
Yeah, you can't beat the glass filters, man. It just makes the smoking experience just so much smoother. Even if Ryan or Maz wanted to smoke and for their first time experience.
Oh yeah.
I would
You know what I mean?
I would have to do it through the
She
glass
was
tip,
right.
so they have like the ultimate experience.
This is what you get with Hyman.
Yeah.
You get
Oh,
the glass
man.
tip.
Oh,
yeah.
Glass tip makes it much smoother.
Damn.
I tried to re-roll a glass tip. It's not an easy process.
I always wondered that too. How do they even do those?
I tried to re-roll. It's like tape. I mean, it's like a little bit of there's something they do.
I tell customers too, man, those donuts, those eclairs I always text you about.
Oh, yeah. So
Dude.
I had a chance to try one last week. We were out. Shout out to Dispo Hazel Park.
Yeah.
Hooked me up with 2 of those last weekend.
man.
It was my sister's birthday. So we enjoyed that before birthday dinner, and I'll say they work.
Yeah.
I will say they work.
This one works, guys.
Braylon, great week out of you. We'll be
stuff,
watching
man.
for the heavyweights coming up 5
Yes,
o'clock
sir.
tonight.
Thank you.
JB Parker, thank you. Maz, wherever the hell you are, thank you. Thanks to
AC.
everybody at Dispo. We love you for
Jenna,
your partnership.
over there chilling.
Here, Jenna, Jenna over there. Thanks to everybody for their partnership
There he is.
here
There's
at WoodwardSports.com. We will see you next week.
We
Happy
will.
4th.
Happy 4th to you.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to WoodwardSports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to WoodwardSports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.